to go racing here at the DRSCCA Thursday night Spec Miata Series. Let's run through the grid and see where your favorite driver is at. Starting on pole, Elliot Budzinski, the number 91 machine. Justin Hilley starting second. Paul Darling starts third. Russell Soto starting fourth. Megan Overstreet starting fifth. David Bauer starting sixth. Bryce Salmon starting seventh. David Moreno starting eighth. Bob Kucera starting ninth. Andrew Gross starting 10th. JP Derone starting 11th. Michael Schmidt starts 12th. Cycled on back to Christopher Murray starting 13th. Sean Fritz starting 14th. Richard Scheib starting 15th. Jacob Mowat starts 16th. Devin Bach starting 17th. Ryan Goff starting 18th. Stephen Kahn starting 19th. Garrett Smart starting 20th. Corey Gordonier starting 21st. Erickson Alano starting 22nd. Dan Cycle starting 23rd. Jonathan Edwards starts 24th. And we'll cycle it back one more time. Eric Christensen starting 25th. David Grzinski starting 26th. William Lamb starts 27th. Jeffrey Novak starting 30th. Steven Scherzer starting 29th. Len starting 31st, a newcomer in the 32 machine. And it looks like Scott Chaikin will be our race control tonight, that number 23 machine. So he shows on grid, but he is locked in the race control booth out here tonight at Road Atlanta. Following along with our iRacing safety car. Now we might have a little bit of a hiccup here in the booth, so we are recording this as well in the background. Just in case the storms don't clear up. So a long time behind the safety car. For these drivers to think about the battle that's about to be unfolded now. It is a 30-lap main event. And I'm curious to see, last time we ran here, the season opener is the Tuesday series in the Spec Fords. A lot of fast drivers went home very early due to crashes and problems out on track. Hopefully that's not going to be the case here tonight. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are green flag racing here at Road Atlanta. Elliot Budzinski is going to lead the field up through turn one. Hilley in second. Soto has made a quick lunge for third. Looks like the field able to get through nice and clean here. So right now, looks like a few drivers have already picked up 2 spots. Christopher Murray, the number 29 machine, he's up 2 spots into 11th. Richard Scheib, he's also up 2 spots in the number 79 machine. Elliot Budzinski leading the field down the backstretch here at Road Atlanta. Hilley still sitting in tow, as well as Soto and Darling. These top 4 drivers have about 3/4 of a second breakaway from Megan Overstreet, but we saw this exact same situation for Overstreet on Tuesday as well, where she was able to take some time throughout that race and eventually work her way up into the top pack. Now, we did have a crash report as well. And David Grzinski's had come down pit road. Not sure what's going on there. Jonathan Edwards, number 12. Oh, got a little bit loose coming out of 10B. And quite a precarious spot as the field comes barreling in. There's car parts everywhere. And a huge moment for our spec drivers. That's going to affect David Grzinski, Jonathan Edwards, Steven Scherzer, Corey Gordonier also affected that one. Now here we go, the battle for the lead. Hilly pulls up alongside Budzinski, trying to challenge for that top spot. Budzinski still kind of guarding the inside line into 10A. He's going to fall in behind that 48 machine of Hilly. Now, earlier in the week when we were here at Road Atlanta, we saw drivers really take it easy the first half the lap of the race or so before the gloves came off. So with Budzinski and Hilly kind of showing each other the wheel a little bit here, and that's allowing people such as Paul Darling, such as Megan Overstreet to run 4th and 5th. I can see David Bauer, Bryce Salmon starting to close the gap as well. That's going to add more and more drivers to this lead pack. Elliot Budzinski still out front. Hilly in second. Soto, and it looks like Darling starting to close up. I also see David Bauer, the number 10 machine, has his nose glued to the back bumper of Overstreet's 044 machine. And then just like that, everything kind of compresses back together through 10A and 10B. Really nobody able to get a clean breakaway here. Only 5 minutes into this feature event. And Overstreet seems like she's content just following along with Darling here, sitting in that top 5 position. Waiting for an opportunity. Historically, we've seen some drivers getting their cars a little bit beat up early on, but let's go on board Russell Soto's number 50 machine. We also had another crash reported. Jacob Moed and the number 28 was involved in some sort of incident, and I believe Steve Scherzer was also tied up. Oh, the number 28 of Moed got a little bit of help around there. And once again, the same story. Drivers just pulverizing each other. Even Scherzer was involved in an incident, but I believe that's going to be a solo incident for Scherzer. Yeah, just loses it into turn 3. Gets the car a little bit unsettled. I think Scherzer came out on track with cold tires as well. Here's another great pack. Richard Scheib, Andrew Gross battling for the 12th place spot into turn 1. Gross trying to fire back up the inside here. Basinski still leading the charge in that top spot. The only person in the top 5 from qualifying to gain a position was Russell Soto's number 50 machine. And again, to the fans that are asking why they are currently watching a PowerPoint presentation, we've had some storms out here to the broadcast booth, but the race is being recorded natively on our end, so it's still crystal clear. So worst comes to worst, immediately following the checkered flag interviews, we'll start the re-upload process. So that way everybody can watch this thing start to finish nice and clear. Unfortunately, racers and broadcasters all alike sometimes susceptible to weather. Hilly looks to the inside line in turn 1 against Basinski. And Russell Soto looks hungry for an opportunity as well. Paul Darling, the number 55 machine, wants to get in the mix here, but Soto, that's going to be his second spot gain so far. So Soto starting to show some momentum. Is he going to start pressuring Basinski here as the pace starts to wick up? Next time by. So at the end of lap 7, drivers will be displayed the cross green and white flags. But we have another incident reported with Bob Kucera having a big off-track incident followed by a tow to pit road. Oh, I think Kucera just got grabbed by netcode there. Wasn't even full wheel-to-wheel contact. And while that was happening on, Hilly has fought back into the second place position. And that has given Basinski the first breakaway we've seen all night. Basinski about 6/10 up over the rest of the field. Might have lost a little bit of time there through turn 5. So Basinski's going to hold on to it. Hilly, Soto, Darling linked up nose to tail following that pole setter. Wanting to make sure that the number 91 machine doesn't get too much of a breakaway here. And just like that, it looks like Hilly and Soto have reeled back in Budzinski, leaving a little bit of gap to Paul Darling. David Bauer, sitting in fifth, is falling outside this lead pack. We're less than a halfway left to go here at Road Atlanta. Right now it's still Budzinski, Hilly, Soto linked up 1, 2, 3. We've got a 3-car breakaway. Another incident reported. This time is Sean Fritz, the number 19 machine, trying to see where that's at. Fritz is going to take a tow back to pit road and calling it quits here. So it looks like through the S's. Up out of turn 5. And that almost was like a hardware issue from Fritz. There's your top 3 drivers linked up nose to tail into 10A. And it looks like, I think that was Paul Darling starting to close back in, the number 55 machine. This is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the pace starting to wick up a little bit for these drivers. You can see David Bauer, Bryce Salmon, Megan Overstreet. They're about 2.3 seconds back from the lead pack. About 16 minutes left to go. I think this is where we're going to start seeing some drivers step up the pace just a little bit. And look at the 3-wide action back and forth across the bow. Budzinski, Soto, Hilly are here to put on a show. That has allowed Paul Darling, number 55 machine, squarely into the mix as well. So we officially have a race underway. Soto getting shuffled back to 4th. Paul Darling back up into 3rd. Right now, your top 4 drivers all running exactly where they qualified. Everybody's kind of feeling each other out right now. Once again, side by side, it's Hilly up front, right behind him. That's Darling Budzinski. Oh, it's going to be a battle under the brakes. It looks like, my goodness, it looked like the 55 of Darling cooked it in a little bit too deep there, able to hold on to it. I think Soto backed off a little, thinking there was going to be an incident that just never happened. But my goodness, Paul Darling so extremely deep on the brakes. There's David Bauer, Bryce Salmon. Lagging back, they've gained about a half second on these top 4 drivers. 14 minutes left to go in today's main event. Let's see, it's anybody's guess who's going to lead this next lap. Because these top 4 drivers do a little bit of leapfrog and having some great racing for the fans here today. Diving through turns 6 and 7, Hilly, Budzinski, Darling, Soto. Now historically, it'd be somebody such as Darling or Soto who are in the best spot as we come out into the backstretch, and during that sector of the track, they gained another half second on 5th place back. Oh, nose to tail, but a big blink from Hilly. Budzinski's going to take a peek to the inside line. Looks like Soto will follow. Not a lot of margin for error there, so Soto's going to move up into 3rd. Elliot Budzinski is going to lead our field through turn 12. For the S's here at Road Atlanta. Right now it's Budzinski, Hilly, Soto, Darling, your top 4, but for how long will that be for? Had another crash reported. It was going to be Christopher Murray in the number 29 machine. But Waterford backed Miata. Looks like that's going to be out of turn 5. But we've seen a few drivers loop the rear end there. Is that going to be the case? Oh, lost it just coming into 5. Never had the car planted. Thankfully, everybody else was able to skate around there without too many major issues. So Budzinski still leading the field here. There's a little bit of lap traffic ahead for your race leader. Could be a precarious spot to be in as these top 4 have been nose to tail. Top 4 breakaway. Let's see if we can grab an onboard from Hilly here. Into turn 6 behind Budzinski. And you can just hear the tires screaming and protest in these spec Miatas. I mean, we're 20 minutes in. They don't get much warmer than this. And these guys are absolutely hammering the rubber, trying to keep the power down. Does Hilly hop out of line here into 10A, or is he going to follow Budzinski another time by? It looks like he's going to stay tucked in. Soto's in 3rd. There's still a little bit of traffic ahead, so this could be an opportunity for Budzinski to try and get a little bit of a breakaway. If he can put a lap down driver between himself and those right behind as it gets a little bit close through turn 12. Hilly got pushed a little bit wide. That's going to allow Soto the opportunity. He's going to send it in deep on the brakes into turn 1. And Soto seizes the opportunity, takes over the second place spot, as that has given about a 4/10 advantage to Budzinski. We've got less than 10 minutes left to go in tonight's feature event. It's Budzinski, Soto, Hilly, 1, 2, 3. Darling still holding on to those top three drivers, as that was David Grzinski off track out of turn 7. Here we go. Soto is going to make a lunge for the lead, diving down through turn 9. It's going to be a battle of breaking into 10A. It looks like Budzinski is going to have it. No, Soto looks to carry a little bit more speed. My goodness, Budzinski gets pushed wide. Dustin Hilly's going to come out on that on top. So Justin Hilly capitalizing on the too wide action, and Budzinski getting pushed a little bit wide through turn 10B. Is going to come back out in the number 1 spot, getting credit for another lap led here at Road Atlanta. I am apprehensive. See how this is going to go as we look at 3 wide. Number 91 machine of Budzinski took a peek to the inside line. Soto and Hilly make contact through 10A. Oh, and it's going to be a pile up here. Hilly, Soto, and I think that was Darling also getting a piece of the action. And that might have just gifted the race to Elliot Budzinski. We pull up the replay. Soto gets a little bit of net code, I think, between himself and Hilly. Comes out to the track. And I don't think that Paul Darling lifted at all during that. Get a replay pulled up from Darling's point of view, the number 55 machine, the black and yellow. Hilly gets pushed into Darling. Darling's still on the gas. Absolutely ripping it. So that's going to be Budzinski, your race leader. Darling in second. Lynn, now the hard charger, up 28 spots. And Salmon and Overstreet round out the top 5 with 5 minutes left to go. This could very well be Budzinski's race. Now let's pan a little bit further back to the 877 of Salmon, trying to track down Lynn, who's about a 10th ahead, diving into 10A. There's Overstreet, her 044 machine has consistently been a top 5 finisher here at every virtual DRSCCA round. Other notable battles out on track, Richard Scheib, Andrew Gross, always getting a lot of love from the fans. They're going to be linked up nose to tail down the start-finish line as they head up into turn one. Gross in his trademark number 69 student driver Miata, while Richard Scheib in the Whitlam-backed number 79 machine. I can also see Devin Box and Christopher Murray in this frame as well. Box the number 8 machine, Murray the number 29. But the time is rapidly dwindling for these drivers. This is a tough spot to be in for a large part of the field. They know that they know they're running out of opportunities to try and pick up any more positions, but they also know in these spec Miatas, if you make one mistake, it can take almost a half lap. To get that momentum built back up. There goes Overstreet. Speaking of up the inside line of Salmon. There's a battle underway here for second. Darling feeling the pressure from Jens, number 32 machine. Blazinski 3.6 seconds up over the rest of the field. He is absolutely gone in that 91 machine. Curious to see. I think this is going to be the white flag lap for these drivers. This will be the final lap for the field, I believe. You're watching Yin and Darling battling for second. Meanwhile, there's also this battle for fourth with Overstreet and Salmon duking it out. If you go back to the 12th place spot, you've got Box, Scheib, Murray, all linked up here. We need to go ahead and move one of our cameras down into 10A and just wait for the dive bombs to commence. Drivers off track there. I think that was Corey hopping out of the way. And here's those big moves under braking we were talking about. Salmon fires back against Overstreet. Checkered flag is out though. Elliot Budzinski is going to pick up the win here at Road Atlanta. Again, will pick up the second place. And Darling, a 10th off the back of that 32. He will lock up third here at Braselton, Georgia. We're going to get these top three drivers quickly up here into victory lane. And as a reminder to the fans, immediately following the interviews, this race will be re-uploaded here on the Team Goon Squad Broadcasting Network. As the storms in the southeast and the wind have not played nicely. Waiting on our top three drivers to make their way up here to victory lane. And we are on second call for our driver interviews. We've got Paul Darling joining us. Got Lynn has made it. Looks like we can get this party started up here. We're going to start things off with Paul Darling. Join us, the number 55 machine. Paul, it seems like every time we're at Road Atlanta, we have great racing, calamity, and then somebody gets to check out. Now, it didn't look like you got away from that turn 10B incident quite unscathed there.
Nope, it definitely screwed up my right front. I had wheel damage and I just had to nurse it home, but saw Lynn coming from the back and I knew there was nothing I could do. So I was just trying to stay on the podium at that point.
Yeah, it seemed like it worked out well for you. I mean, still, as bad as that went, able to avoid a whole lot of calamity. What was going through your head? I mean, every lap going into 10A, somebody was sending it deep. Surely that was going to happen eventually, right?
Yeah, and I was banking on it happening and me not getting caught up in it. I was definitely the most passive of all the other three. I was just waiting for that to happen, and I was going to push to the end, but unfortunately, I couldn't avoid the incident when it happened.
Well, Paul, still good to have you up here in the top three, able to limp it home in a battered number 55 machine. Before I let you go and unwind from this one, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen?
Oh, I just want to shout out to the top four for doing clean until it wasn't, but it was good there at the start.
Awesome. Paul, always a pleasure and good having you back up here.
Thank you very much.
That was Paul Darling bringing it home in second. Up next, we got the hard charge tonight. Lynn and the number 32 machine. Welcome to the top three, up 29 spots. I believe this was your debut for the Thursday night series, and what a fantastic finish.
I probably need to go for a visit to the lottery.
Yeah, no kidding. Able to avoid. We had so many fast drivers have problems, and you starting from the back. What was the plan to get through all the traffic and avoid all those issues here tonight?
Just stay clean and just don't run into others. But I think I nearly ran into some people. My apologies.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. Now, as a entry here for the virtual DRSCCA series, will we be seeing you in that 32 machine out on track throughout the rest of the year?
We'll see. I mean, my usual car number is 30, but I just I almost forgot that there's a race tonight. I just showed up last minute, and yeah, hopefully I'll be in the 30 machine next week.
Awesome. Good to have you up here in the booth. First time this season, a great run up 29 positions. Before I let you go and unwind, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make it happen for you tonight?
I mean, thanks to you and the Team Goon Squad team broadcasting the race, of course, and I guess that'll be it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. Good having you up here, and hope to have you up here next week as well.
Thank you.
That was Lynn, the number 32 machine. As he said, normally the number 30, but up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Elliot Budzinski. Elliot, the seas parted, and the 91 machine came through out on top here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate way of describing it. But no, yeah, it was a pretty good race up until then, and then I think Russell just maybe went a little bit deep, and they made some contact, and luckily enough, I didn't get caught up in the mess, and kind of had a pretty easy last couple minutes.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. I mean, those few laps were fantastic. There was 4 or 5 of you guys. Everybody was licking the stamp and sending it into 10A, and that had to have been a ton of fun for you out on track.
Yeah, it was. It was more about really the whole lap was just about making sure you got the exit and kind of had a gap for the long straight, because it didn't really seem like people much wanted to pass anywhere else, because there's a big toe going down the straight, made it somewhat easy of a passing opportunity. So yeah, my goal was kind of to maybe back people up and get the exit onto the straight, but sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't. So it created a pretty cool battle.
Well, it was a ton of fun for us up here in the booth to watch. I'm sure it was a blast for you racers. So good to have you in the top spot in the number 91 machine. And before I let you go, sign off and celebrate, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helped make it happen here at Road Atlanta?
Yeah, just everyone watching, and you guys for putting this on, because I think it's pretty cool to be able to stream these races and show some people a good battle here and there. So I think it makes the middle of the week a bit more entertaining.
Awesome. Elliot, it's super cool to have you back up here again. Big congratulations, and hopefully we'll have you back next week as well.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Elliot Budzinski joining us in the top spot here at Road Atlanta, accompanied by Lynn, the hard charge of the number 32 machine, and Paul Darling rounding out the top 3. Again, this race will be immediately re-uploaded on YouTube. These storms interfering with the broadcast, but thank you all so much for coming out supporting the Detroit SCCA sim race. My name has been James E. with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great night, everybody.